I think okay, so my mic yeah, I think my mic is, like we back? Are we back? We're back. I think we're back. Let me know if we're back. What the hell? Man, this is not a way to start a show. What is okay? Let me know if you guys can hear me now because I just disconnected my mic. Man, this is terrible. Let's see, 5G, my lord. Let me know if you guys can hear me. This is a very bad. There you are. What does he mean? Audio good? Okay, yeah. I mean, the audio is probably not as good as it was, but we'll try to get on top of it. I don't know what the hell was happening with my mic, so we'll see. But again, like I said before, I don't know if you guys heard this, but I'll try to be more on time. And there's obviously not going to be like when you are more consistent, I found you're going to get more views. You're going to get more people watching your stream. So I'll try to be more consistent. I'll try to pump out content like I used to. It's just like, especially when I'm not having guests, it's because, I don't know when I'm going to go live. That's why like this live stream was posted so last minute because, with basketball, we do this thing where we alternate each week. Sometimes it's from 4 to 6, sometimes it's from 6 to 8. So like it's hard to really know an exact time when you need to go live for that week. So that's why you're not going to see a lot of guests, and it's going to be a lot of last minute shows. I'll try to be more consistent, and I'll also try to be on time. Like that's a big one. Platform 246. This is a guy that I apologize. I canceled on so many times. Hopefully we can work something out this Saturday. I should be able to work something out this Saturday, but if not, we'll figure it out. So yeah, let's get to the first topic though. And this one I think is something that's on everyone's mind and really is on my mind. And you guys have all, I didn't cover the Dolphins game here. The very first comment was like, hey, Benny, did you see how the 49ers cheated in the Dolphins game? Very bad. Just kidding. How goes your week? Hope all is well. I'm good. Hope you are well. Thanks for being a loyal supporter. Really appreciate it. But yeah, the 49ers, that was a surprising game. It started off really good for the Dolphins, and then it kind of just died like instantly. The Dolphins were just like, the Dolphins were just like, after that first play to Trent Sherfield, the Dolphins just died right away, and it was bad, So we'll see what happens in the future. But yeah, that was a great defensive performance from the 49ers. But let's get to somebody that I think is kind of a savior and a guy who, he's good, but I feel like he is definitely being over compared. And like Brock Purdy, like I see in a lot of other people's streams, I'll go into other 49er content creators' streams and I'll see what those guys are saying. A lot of people are comparing Brock Purdy to Joe Montana, all the great guys who did it for so long at a high level. And I'm like, not only is it not fair to compare a 2-game really starter to one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, it's fair to the player, and frankly, it's not fair to your souls, because if he lets you down, you have such a high bar of Brock Purdy because you're starting to compare him to Joe Montana after 2 starts, that if he lets you down and is below that bar, then it's not going to be good for you. So the thing is like, you have to temper your expectations on Brock Purdy so he won't let you down, and that's what I think all 49ers fans should have done with Jimmy Garoppolo when he first came to the Niners, because Jimmy Garoppolo wins 5 games and you're all saying he's the greatest quarterback of all time. So that's where I think fan bases be tripped up. They can be, you have his expectations until he actually has proven it. And that's what I think we did with Jimmy Garoppolo. And I'm starting to see us repeat our mistakes with Brock Purdy. Temper your expectation, guys. But again, Brock Purdy, that's nothing to take away from him. I think he comes in with, he comes across as very confident. And that's a big thing for me, because as a quarterback, throwing downfield is all about being confident. And, I think the main reason why Jimmy Garoppolo never took shots downfield is not only was he not accurate, but I just think he wasn't confident enough to throw those balls. And he just wasn't, he was scared to throw him downfield. He was thinking, if I throw it downfield, I'm going to miss and then everyone's going to hate me, So he wasn't confident. With that confidence. And I think it stems a little bit from his college days, because you do have, his last year as a starter, he had a 71.7 completion rate, which is really good. Like, that is really good. And I mean, last year he also had almost, had over 3,000 yards, and he also started almost 40 games as a starter. So in college, all 3 years, basically started 10 in his first year, 13 in his second year, 12 in the next year, and 13 in the next, or whatever. So, I think you have to put into some context of where his confidence comes from. And I think it comes from his college days. He's thinking, I started all these games. I had a pretty good college career. I was slept on. Now I'm coming into a team that I have to prove myself, and I think he will. You know, he transfers that confidence to throwing down the field, and we saw that. I mean, he's not afraid to take shots, and that's the biggest thing that I saw is, on the, I believe it was the third touchdown that we had that put us up 21-0 to McCaffrey. It was that deep ball to McCaffrey, and it was second quarter with 7 minutes left. It was the touchdown. I think that put us up 21-0. And I mean, Purdy, not afraid that he has nothing to lose, steps into it, pressure in his face, takes a huge hit from the defensive lineman and delivers that pass, but isn't afraid to get hit. And the thing is that pass, I believe, should have been a roughing the passer. Did I just break up? Okay, no. I think that pass should have been, my Lord, my internet. Okay, I think I'm back. That pass should have been a roughing the passer. Golly, can these notifications stop? My God. Okay, well, whatever. That pass should have been a roughing the passer call on that Christian McCaffrey deep ball touchdown, and that's what I got so pissed off about. Is like, you call these roughing the passers on people like Tom Brady. And then quarterbacks that aren't really getting paid as much, you're not going to call roughing the passer on. So you're going to call all these different, like for highly paid quarterbacks, you're going to call the roughing the passer. But for quarterbacks that are backups, you're not roughing the passer on that play. Because on that Christian McCaffrey touchdown, that was clearly a roughing the passer. Can these notifications stop coming in on my computer? I swear. My gosh. Yeah, so that's what I got to say on that. But yeah, tremendous confidence, steps in, takes hits. Let's just hope that can translate. Like after he has this miracle season or whatever, if he has this miracle season where he goes on to win a lot of games, if he does, hopefully that can translate to next. Okay, how can I mute this? Hold on, because this is annoying. Turn off all notifications for, yeah, okay, I just turned them off. Bro, that was annoying. I kept getting notifications. This has been the worst stream by far in a few months. Bad audio connections, notifications going ding, 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 ding. Nah. Definitely not going as well as I expected it to. But yeah, so, but let's get into some of the topics because this is supposed to be a little bit of a Q&A. Don't worry, next show I will have a guest. Let's see. Faithful Deebo, that like button. Yeah, Deebo runs hard, man. That's his downfall. It's all good, Benny. We know you're super busy, school, sports, academics, and teenage life. I so wish I could go back to that. Yeah, I heard it sucks as it goes along, your life. San Francisco 49ers versus Seattle Seahawks. The two teams have met each other 48 times, including one postseason game, with the 49ers winning 18 games and the Seahawks winning 30 games. Yeah, we have not. Well, and the thing is the last few years especially, like, it doesn't matter if we're good or bad. Like last year, we're going to, like, lose almost. Now, this year was a good sign. That was in Santa Clara. It was early in the season. Seahawks hadn't really hit their hot stretch. But the nice thing is like, if we would have faced the Seahawks when they were on their hot streak, when they were confident, I feel like it would have been very close. But now they're starting to lose some games. They're starting to be less confident. I think this is the perfect time to face the Seahawks team because they're kind of cooling down. They're losing some games. They're losing confidence. And I think this is the perfect time to face the Seahawks team because they're not as confident as they were like a month and a half ago. Seahawks lead series 30-18. Yeah, I thought so. Let's see. Grand with the facts. Yes. He's bringing him tonight. Brock Purdy was a projected 5th rounder. Players had fallen in the draft all the time. His scouting report had said he'd fit well for the Dolphins' new scheme. Yeah, you're a Dolphins fan, and that's good to know because I do feel like with the Dolphins scheme, you really don't have to have a super big gunslinger. But here's the thing with like the big impression on Brock Purdy is like he doesn't have a big arm. And shout out Jesse Naylor. He's a very smart dude. And I mean, just go check out his channel, Last Second Sports. He said today on Twitter, like, Brock Purdy, for his size, he is not a very big quarterback. We saw that. He's probably 6 foot. I would say he's about 6 foot exactly. Brock Purdy, for his size, actually has a really big arm. Like, not a ton of quarterbacks that size have a big arm. For his size, he actually has a decently big arm. And the thing that's so great is he can throw on the run off of 1 foot. Like, we've seen him throw off platform. So, like, he has that attribute. Like, he might not have super strong arm, but he has enough of a strong arm to kind of get by. I think he has like, his arm isn't so weak. It's not like Nick Mullins weak. Like, Nick Mullins had a weak arm, I would say. Like, which tells me he'd fit for the 49ers scheme. I completely agree. You know, I think he definitely stretches the field more than Jimmy Garoppolo does. Let's see. Benny is about to lose. Hang in there. Wait, you mean the 49ers to the Seahawks? Hell no. So yeah, let's move on though. Let's get to the next topic, and that's do we want to get into the Seahawks first? Let's get into because Grandizer brings up a good point on the 49ers remaining schedule and how he was breaking down a little bit the Seahawks game there. Let's get right to the Seahawks versus 49ers keys. Let's first start with something, and this is something that I think is on everyone's mind, and I'm just going to echo it. DK Metcalf, man. So a few years ago, and I believe it was the year after the Super Bowl year, which would have been the 2020-2021 season, or just the 2020 season. We played the Seahawks in Seattle, and we ended up losing that game pretty badly. And from what I remember seeing DK Metcalf catching the ball over the middle. And I remember one time Marcel Harris goes for a tackle at his legs, and DK Metcalf's legs are churning at such a high speed that it knocks Marcel Harris out of the game for a concussion. So here's the thing. The 49ers have to be tough over the middle. The last 4 out of the 6 games, DK Metcalf has had a touchdown. So he's hitting a little bit of a hot stretch, DK Metcalf. You know, he has struggled a little earlier on. Now the last 4 out of the 6 games, he had TDs. You have to be tough over the middle because the Seahawks, their only chance of winning this game is throwing it over the middle, getting DK Metcalf those balls to where he can they're going to try to body the 49ers. They're going to try to play physical with the 49ers, and I think they're going to lose doing that. But you can't play the speed game with the 49ers because the 49ers have played that. So what I do intend them to do is I feel like they're going to try to take the top off of the defense. You know, there's been a lot of people the last few weeks pointing out Talanoa Funga, his coverage deficiencies. I think they're going to try to expose that with Marquise Goodwin because Geno Smith has the arm to expose it. So watch Marquise Goodwin going deep a lot, and maybe watch him, maybe they're going to take a few shots. They're going to take a few risks. So that's one thing. Just be tough over the middle and don't give up any big plays, which the 49ers really have. Well, they didn't give up any big plays they didn't give up any big plays against the Bucs, but one was returned, a big play from Mike Evans early in the game, which really kind of turned the tides of the game because then it would have tied the game up if that first touchdown that the Buccaneers got called back, if that wouldn't have gotten called back, it would have been tied. So it really would have turned the tides of the game. But, you know, so the 49ers have gotten beat the last few weeks over the top, and you have to, I don't know if the 49ers can fix it, but you have to fix that against the Seahawks because you know they're going to try to exploit that. I think I don't think Brock Purdy has that performance that he has like he did last week. You know, last week he had I think an over like 130 passer rating. I don't think he has that. I think he's going to temper his expectations just a little bit because he also has an oblique muscle injury, which I haven't personally had myself because I don't play any throwing sports. I don't really play any major league contact sports. So it's like I don't really know how that feels, but apparently it's painful. So what I could see the 49ers doing, or the Seahawks defense doing, is they know Brock Purdy has that oblique injury, so they're going to try to stack the box. Depending on if we don't know what the severity of the Brock Purdy injury is. So I think Brock Purdy is really playing this game because they have a chance to win the division in this game or clinch it or whatever. So I think if you're Brock Purdy, if you're the Seahawks, they're going to be banking on that Brock Purdy is pretty injured. So they're saying, we have a terrible run game, but if we can load the box and bank on the Brock Purdy oblique muscle injury being bad, then maybe we can stop this offense. If the Brock Purdy injury is bad, then they're not going to take a ton of shots downfield. They're just going to run the ball a ton. And that's where the Seahawks will get them, because I feel like they stack the box and maybe they'll win this game. Now, if the Brock Purdy oblique injury isn't bad, then the Seahawks will load the box, and then the 49ers will beat them deep. Let me know what you guys, because that's my theory. I think if the 49ers run the ball a ton, you know, I think Brock Purdy, that shows that he's pretty injured. I don't know. Another thing that I think is really key for this game, and actually let's get into some comments before I get into my next key. Let's see. James could never get the ball down the field. Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah, I know. And the thing is I think he could, but I think he had just lost all confidence. And through injuries throughout the years, the Super Bowl, and just like, I just think he had lost all confidence. Kyle Shanahan lost all confidence in him, and I think Kyle Shanahan just stopped calling the plays. And when he did, it never really worked out because they never practiced them. Hufunga needs to stop looking in the backfield, cover your man, and watch their eyes. Yeah, I don't know, man, because he started off really good in the year, but then the last few weeks, it's like he has been giving up a lot of big plays, and I feel like against a lot of air raid offense like the Eagles with A.J. Brown, you could see him take the top off of that defense with the 49ers. That's my only concern. Now, our deep pass rush is so good that maybe it won't matter, but we saw what happened in 2019. You know, our pass rush in the Super Bowl got completely shut down, and they beat us deep. So I don't know if that's this late in the season. I don't know if that's a fixable problem. Let's see here. San Francisco 49ers news. 49ers React survey week 15. The 49ers continue to prove they're the team nobody wants to play via Niners Nation. Yeah, man, I think they're definitely have solidified. All that talent is really just starting to come into fruition. San Francisco 49ers news. Why Kyle Shanahan belongs in the coach of the year conversation. You're just getting this off of Niners Nation? Yeah, I think he does in a way, but I think, let me see, who are the guys that are in it? You know, I think Brian Daboll was in that conversation for a while, but isn't anymore. His team is kind of coming back down to earth. I'm trying to think who else. I definitely think Mike McDaniel, but now that Kyle Shanahan is having a better season, then maybe Kyle Shanahan's over Mike McDaniel now. Nick Sirianni, I probably would say is still above him. And here's the thing. I think Andy Reid is still above him too. So I think he's third on the list right now. Let's see. He says hello to David McNew in the chat. Well said. The Super Bowl did it. Yeah. And that's where I think we need to shore it up, but I'm not really sure if we can this late in the season. Let's see. So let's get to our next one. Next little key, and you guys put keys in the comments too. I want to see what you guys think. And let's put, this is a key where I think it's very important. They didn't do it last week, but then again, it really didn't hurt anything. Well, it did hurt anything because it came to a Deebo Samuel injury. And this is a key where if you don't keep this guy healthy, I think it's going to be really bad. Christian McCaffrey. I think you have to use Jordan Mason early and often. I at first in the preseason, first glance, I was like, does he look a little bit like JaMychal Hasty? No, he's way bigger than JaMychal Hasty, and he runs like a freaking tank. Like, he's what I imagine. Jordan Mason is what I imagine for Ty Davis Price. But Ty Davis Price isn't playing. Apparently, since he's not good, but who knows? He could be the next Trey Sermon, or he could be really good, But yeah, I think, Jordan Mason in his last contest, 4.6 yards per carry. Sorry. 5.1 yards per carry. And so, I think he's having a really good year, but it's like, I think he got a lot of those carries to just close out the game, so it didn't really matter when he got the carries. If you're Kyle Shanahan, you're losing Deebo Samuel, and we might get to him if we have enough time in the show later, but you're losing Deebo Samuel. Who do you replace as that guy, And that's where I'm like, you have to use Jordan Mason early in the game instead of late in it. Like you have to use him to kind of tire that Seattle defense down. Otherwise, I don't think you're going to be able to maybe win this game. I just don't know if Christian McCaffrey is going to be able to do it all by himself. Again, we had Deebo Samuel for almost the first half of last game, and he kind of wore the defense down. So you have to have some physical runner, and Christian McCaffrey isn't as physical as Jordan Mason, and you just have to use him to tire that defense out early and often. And I think between those two guys, you could probably tire the defense out, But yeah, so that's my last key. And then let's get to a little bit, like real quick, let's touch the Deebo Samuel, how that injury impacts the 49ers. I think they're not going to, because if you look at their schedule, they got the Seahawks, then they got, let me see. I have their schedule pulled up right here. I didn't write it down because I was kind of in a hurry and I didn't have time to do this. So I got their schedule. So their remaining schedule is, they've got the Seahawks, obviously, tomorrow. They've got the Commanders, who I think are a decent team, but I don't know. I mean, I don't have a ton of faith that the Commanders will even come close to the 49ers. I just don't think they can keep up with us physically. And then they have the Raiders, who have been a huge disappointment, and the Cardinals, who we already blew out. So realistically, we don't need Deebo Samuel for those 4 games. And you guys have probably heard it from other people as well, but you don't need Deebo Samuel for those games. So rest him up, because the last thing I want is him coming in, and just like re-injuring and not fully healthy and re-injuring himself. He needs to be pretty healthy for the playoff stretch. That's why if this game is such a must-win game tomorrow, because if you win this game, you can kind of start to rest players a little bit more, even though you're still gunning for the 2nd seed, which I do believe we will get. And I think we have the tiebreaker. If we are tied with the Vikings, I think we have the tiebreaker of the Vikings, because I'm trying to think. So the Vikings beat the Saints and we beat the Saints, so that wouldn't be anything. Let's see. I don't know. Hey, chat, this is your next assignment kind of thing. Look up for me who the Vikings have beaten and who the 49ers have beaten, and look up if there's any tiebreakers that the 49ers and Vikings share, that the 49ers have over the Vikings. So if we were to be tied for the 2nd seed, we get the 2nd seed. At this point, the 2nd seed has kind of lost value because there's no first round bye. So it's like, I mean, yeah, you get to play maybe a slightly easier team, but it's not as much value. Except, I mean, the value is that you get a second. If you win the first game, then you get a second home game. So that's the big value in it. You don't have to travel. But then again, the 49ers Levi's Stadium crowd, I've heard, isn't that good, and we travel really well. So it's like, how much of a home game is it going to be away from the stadium, if you guys know what I mean? But yeah, so that's my concern. My other concern, though, let's get to my other concern, is the pass rush or the pass protection. This is something that I don't think is really Kyle Shanahan's fault. Well, it is his fault or the general manager's fault for kind of constructing it as well. This is like the 3rd game in a row where you see just pressure. Like, teams are kind of in a way starting to figure the 49ers out a little bit. Blitzing is a huge thing that all the teams are doing versus the 49ers. And it's getting a lot of the 49ers quarterbacks injured. And the thing is like, my thing is they haven't played a defense like the Cowboys in the playoffs with Micah Parsons. Okay, here's a scenario for you guys. The Cowboys can use Micah Parsons in a lot of different ways. Let's say the 49ers play the Cowboys in the 2nd round of the playoffs or whatever. and the Cowboys have a 4-man rush, and they bring Micah Parsons as their 5th guy right side, and he has a free shot at the quarterback, and he's a free rusher. Micah Parsons will injure the quarterback, will sack the quarterback because he has speed. The quarterback's not going to be able to escape, which in this case it would be Brock Purdy. So it's like, that's my concern, and that's something that's not going to go away this season. That's what I think neutralizes our Super Bowl chances. Is we haven't fixed that problem of the last weeks now. There's been always a free rusher off of the edge, and good defense are going to expose you in the playoffs, especially the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are the most dangerous with Micah Parsons because he's fast, he's big, and he can injure your quarterback, and he can get to the quarterback quickly. So, I don't know what they're going to try to do to neutralize that. I don't know if they can even fix it, but that's a big thing. Free rushers off of the edge, man. Teams have had a field day. And, since you're not a highly paid quarterback, like Brock Purdy's not a highly paid quarterback, he doesn't get called for roughing the passers. And I know, like, you guys probably saw that egregious roughing the passer call on Justin, like the Dolphins guy on Sunday Night Football. It was Jalen Phillips had a roughing the passer call on Justin Herbert, and you guys probably saw that. That was absolutely egregious, and just because like highly paid quarterbacks, highly profile quarterbacks are going to get it called all the time. But guys like Brock Purdy, lower salary quarterbacks, the league doesn't care about. They don't make money off of him. Keys to beating the Seahawks, already got to that. Run the ball, yes. That's another thing. 4.6 yards per carry. And this is another thing where, any team that can't stop the run, the 49ers are going to kill because it's such a bad matchup. And even if you load the box, it's still a bad matchup. I completely agree with you there. So the Saints didn't stop the run very well. Or on paper, they didn't stop the run very well. We beat them. The Cardinals didn't stop the run very well. We destroyed them. So every team that we played that has struggled against the Chargers, for example, we beat them. We were able to close out late. Any team that we faced this year, I could think of numerous examples. The Dolphins, the Chargers, the Cardinals, the Saints. All of those teams on paper can't really stop the run. And all of the teams that we've lost to or that we've beaten, there's been a lot of teams that we've beaten this year, and the reason why we've beaten them is they all can't stop the run. So if you can't stop the run, then you're automatically at a disadvantage. And I'm going to bet on the 49ers 9 out of 10 times or 10 out of 10 times because they're facing it's automatically a bad matchup if you can't stop the run against the 49ers. I was posting 49ers news articles that you may have read to get your comments on. It sometimes helps fill the show. If you need it, good to go. If you need it, a good go-to if you need it, trying to help. Oh no, I wasn't telling you off. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep doing what you're doing. I do not hate it. I was just saying, are these from? And then I was seeing the Niners Nation. I was like, yeah, I do read them. I'd read a few of those articles. I think Brock Purdy does increase the chance of the 49ers Super Bowl chances because I think he's not afraid to throw downfield. And if he gets even close to the Super Bowl, he's going to be considered a hero. But we'll see. He has to get past the injury bug first. He's not even 2 starts through, and he already has an injury. Pound it. Yeah. Right between the tackles. The other thing that kind of puts the Seahawks at the disadvantage is they have not been very hot in their run game offensively. So it's like their receivers, they have a very good receiving core. Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Marquise Goodwin, who's kind of having a revived career a little bit. But they can't really run the ball. It's kind of calmed down with Kenneth Walker. And that's a big problem. If you can't run the ball, can't control the clock against the 49ers, you've lost. NFC West standings: 49ers 9-4, Seahawks 7-6. Seahawks, this is kind of a must-win game for them too because they're 8th in the playoff picture right now, so they need to start winning some games. They have really cooled down because I think they've lost last 3 out of 4. Cardinals 4-8, Rams 4-9. I can't believe I actually thought the Cardinals were going to be a decent team this year. They are booty cheeks. That's my new word. I'm just kidding. It doesn't even. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Bang bang Niner gang or don't bang. Oh. Yo. Yeah, for sure. For sure. You're a Dolphins fan though, so I don't know why. We own the night. Yeah. Wait, are you talking about the Dolphins own the night or the 49ers? Because the 49ers have been pretty good in primetime this year. I think they're like 3-0 or 4-0. Kick the Seahawks between the washing machine and dryer. I hope, man. I hate the Seahawks so much. And we don't win a ton in Seattle. And this is kind of bringing me back to that, that last week in 2019 when we had to win to get the first seed and not to get in the playoffs. But, that – and I go back like this year, it's not very – the league is not as strong this year as it was a few years ago. Because – few years ago, you had 3 13-3 or 2 13-3 teams and 1 12-4 team in the playoffs. And now you have you have 2 teams that will probably get to like 12-5 or whatever, or over 12-5. So it's like, it was a lot stronger back in 2019, the NFC playoff picture. And it's like, there was a lot more on like, the reason why I think the 49ers first seed came down to the wire that year is because it was so much competition. But this year it's kind of feeling like that game in 2019 when, there's a lot on stake for this Thursday night game. Platform 246 says bang bang Niner gang or don't bang, just showing support. Keep doing it, man. Thanks for all the support. So if you guys don't have any more questions, I am going to go do some more homework. And we'll probably see you, hopefully, with a guest on Saturday night. I apologize for not being as consistent anymore, but, it is what it is. We'll try to be more consistent next time. But this has been a lot of fun. This show went for almost 40 minutes. We had some comments in here. Grandizer, faithful supporter, as usual. We had David McNew. We had Platform 246. So, keep showing the love, man. Really appreciate it. And Platform 246, I will eventually have you on my channel. It's, I kind of feel bad because when he said you're good. So, I'm not like trying to apologize, or I'll apologize again. But like, I don't really, I kind of feel bad a little bit because I canceled on him like 4 times because I was too busy. Whoa, we have a guy. Wait, Corey Davis. Hello, the Camper Report. I hope you had a wonderful Wednesday. Thank you, man. Hold on. I know a Michael Davis. I don't know who Corey Davis is, though. But this is, I think, a new guy in the chat who I don't think I've seen him in the chat. So salute to you. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. The line, the 49ers. San Francisco 49ers favored by 3.5 over under via DraftKings. 3.5. I'm going to hit the over. I think you could see it being pretty close in the first half, but the 49ers have always been really good defensively at first half, second half adjustments. And I think that defense is going to get the best of them in the second half. But I could see like the first few drives, them really getting creative with DK Metcalf. But really, I see the Seahawks playing one style of football, and that's passing, and testing downfield. But once that style of football is exposed in the second half, then I think the Seahawks, I don't think they're going to be able to close out this game because good teams close out the game by having good defenses and a good run game. Seahawks have a pretty good defense, but again, they can't stop the run. They have a good secondary, but they have a good defense, but they don't have they haven't had that good run game, and I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball against the 49ers. Now, Kevin Givens is a huge loss, but we still have Eric Armstead, people like that. So, we'll see what happens with that. But, yeah, and that's another thing, like the 49ers key matchups to watch for, Tariq Woolen versus Brandon Ayuk. I think the Seahawks, I said earlier that they're going to stack the box. I think they're going to do that. I think what they're going to do is they're saying, stacking the box relies on a lot of man-to-man coverage. I think they're confident that their cornerbacks won't get beat by the likes of Jawan Jennings and Brandon Ayuk. And so I think that they're confident that they can stack the box and they're going to hope that their cornerbacks can cover one-on-one versus Brandon Ayuk. I don't know if that can succeed, but it could with no Deebo Samuel. I don't know. Have a good night and week. We will catch you next time. Yeah, Grandizer, I apologize if I sounded a little bit like ungrateful for your comments. I love your comments. I did not mean it that way. So keep pouring them in because I love what you bring to the show and what the viewers bring to the show. Corey Davis is a popular 49er fan. I think he has his own YouTube channel too. Okay, hold on a second. Did I? Okay, hold on. I think I might have had, yeah, I did have Corey Davis on a year ago. Okay, why did I forget his name? Because I'm pretty sure I can look this up. Didn't I have Corey Davis? Because I get confused. I have Michael Davis, who I've been on, he's been on my show, and he's a Cowboys fan. And then I have Corey Davis, I think, that I had on a year ago. I need to have you on again, man. Because I haven't had him on in a while, and you're a very, very good content creator, or I love your takes, bro. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Did I do a show? I think his name was Corey. It's been a long time. Yo, I can't believe I actually forgot your name. That's embarrassing, man. I apologize. Oh, no. Kobe Ransom. That was his name. Not Corey Davis. Okay, I don't know who you are. I thought I have this guy that I haven't had on my show in a while called Kobe Ransom. He's a really cool 49ers content creator too. I don't know what he's doing these days, but I had him on about a year ago, and I thought his name. I got you guys confused, so I don't know who you are. But yeah, happy holidays to everyone, man. Have a good Christmas, man. But yeah, salute to the channel, Corey Davis. And if you have a Twitter, hit me up. That's my Twitter handle, so hit me up, man. And we can chop up 49ers together or anything NFL. NFL. Okay, so we have some guys pouring in. Wow. So you're new to the channel too. Give this a like and subscribe. Niners 31, Sea Chickens 10. Wow, that's bold. I think just because it's in Seattle, the crowd's going to be going wild. A lot of pressure, short week. I don't know. I think it's going to be closer. I think it could be we need to temper our expectations for the 49ers offense because we have no Deebo Samuel and we have a slightly injured Brock Purdy. I don't think we're going to score over 30 again this week. I think it's going to be more like 24-16. I think our red zone defense will hold up. But I think it could be close, and then we close it out in the fourth quarter. I think this could be more of like a Chargers game earlier on this year, not like a blowout. I don't think this is going to be a blowout, but we'll see. Yeah, so that's my show, guys. We had a few new guests in here, or a few new people commenting. MFL, shout out to him, and Corey Davis, shout out to that guy too. So, tune in for my next one. I want to have a show on Saturday, and I will probably have a guest on. So tune in for that one. And everyone, thanks for all the support once again. And we'll have more guests on, and we'll have more shows, and we'll try to be more consistent in this crazy busy time. I hope you guys have a good Christmas, a good holiday break, and we'll see you next time. Get the mic fixed, Grandizer says. Yeah, I need to get the mic fixed. I think it's the cord right here. That's what it was. It was slightly disconnected, so it kept going in and out, in and out. That was a bad start to the show. Let's see. Okay, well, guys, this has been great. I need to go probably sleep or do some school. So we'll see you next time. Probably next Saturday, whether or not I have a guest. So have a good rest of your night.